my name is Joseph, and I would like to talk to you today about the impact of agriculture on the environment, two subjects which I have a keen interest in and that matter greatly in the 21st century. You will all be familiar with current concerns around climate change and how best we can protect the planet going forwards. You may also be aware of some suggestions that current farming methods are having a detrimental impact upon our planet. It worries me that some people view agriculture negatively and don't fully understand how important it is in feeding the nation, supporting our ecosystems, and contributing towards the fight against climate change. The environmental impact of agriculture varies widely based on methods used by farmers and upon the scale of their farms. There is currently an argument that we should all eat less meat, both for our health and for the planet. This argument, health benefits aside, points to the fact that grazing cattle produce high levels of methane, which is bad for the environment. However, the level of methane they produce depends upon their diet, so, therefore, we can reduce the environmental impact by changing the way we farm cattle. Livestock farming also benefits the environment, given that grass absorbs and retains carbon. This argument also relies upon much of our meat being imported, and therefore generating lots of air miles, and has led to suggestions that a vegetarian or vegan diet is more environmentally ethical. However, as a meat eater myself, I would like to point out that it is not just meat that is imported and incurs air miles, but much of our plant-based food too, including fruit, vegetables, cereal crops, and grains, which are also imported. Some soya crops are being planted at the expense of our rainforest. I was shocked to learn, whilst researching the subject, that 76% of apples consumed in the UK are from overseas. A Friends of the Earth survey of supermarkets found that at the height of the British season, the majority of apples on sale were imported, many from outside the EU. Additionally, some crops are flown to the UK, which generates a shocking amount of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Not only are air miles an issue, but for soft fruits or vegetables, a significant amount of packing is required to protect them in transit, causing further environmental harm, given that not all the packing will be recycled. It is my view, therefore, that we cannot solely hold farmers and producers of food responsible for environmental harm. But those who choose to import, i.e. supermarkets and consumers, need to consider where their food has come from and source food locally wherever possible and eat in season. I think we also need to challenge supermarkets to stop rejecting imperfect fruit and vegetables and therefore cut down on waste. I think that if we are to become a more self-sufficient nation and not over-rely on imports, we need to value and support our farmers, encourage young people who may wish to work within agriculture, and ensure that we do not develop all our agricultural land. Exciting new forms of agriculture are being developed all the time. For example, recently established seaweed farms have been found to benefit the environment, as seaweed stores 5 times more carbon than trees. If farming is to become more sustainable, we also need to think about how we harvest our crops. New types of tractors have been developed, some of which run on biodiesel, energy derived from plants or animal fats, and produce fewer air pollutants. Some also use hydrogen, which emit only water and therefore do not pollute the environment. One of the ways in which agriculture negatively impacts upon the planet is the overuse of fertilizers and pesticides. Organic farming seeks to address this and does not use chemical fertilisers or feed additives for livestock. Instead, it relies upon more natural forms of farming, for example, crop rotation, and the use of ladybirds which eat aphids. This cuts down on pollution, preventing chemicals getting into our water, and supports some of our important ecosystems. Although organic farming has many benefits to the environment, the yield is generally lower, and therefore the cost to the consumer is higher. It is therefore unlikely to be able to support all of our food requirements, particularly where people are on low incomes. In summary, if you haven't fallen asleep by now, I think that agriculture has a really important part to play in supporting biodiversity and limiting climate change, and can move forward in a more sustainable way. However, I think that in order for agriculture to be able to develop in this way, supermarkets and we, the consumers, need to support them and think about not only what we eat, but where, when, and how it is produced. Thank you for listening.